to wrap this up. So some of you may not be aware of this, but throughout my years on HWSD, I have been a 2-time recipient of the Best Storyteller Superlative. I also am the 4-time recipient of the Most Likely to Get Arrested Without Pants Superlative, but that's only a story I tell to appropriate audiences. Anyway, I thought I would begin my speech by telling you all a story of my first few days on campus. I remember them pretty vividly, partially because I was scarred with the experience of cleaning toilets in an August heat wave for 8 hours a day. Don't feel too bad for me though, this was part of my orientation program of choice, dorm crew. On one of the first days of dorm crew, I woke up early to meet with some teammates to go on a run. I hated running, but I wanted to show them I was game and I was in shape. Well, I might have been game, but I was not in shape. I remember telling my teammates mid-run, I think I'm going to loop around maybe a different path. I'll meet you back in the run. As I ran off into the distance ahead of me, I slowed my pace down to a walk and made that different path the one from which I came. I limped back to the yard, flopped on the grass, and began asking myself, what had I gotten myself into? This team was intense. Would I be able to keep up? Had my 6-practice-a-week Y program prepared me well enough for this, for doubles and dry land? But before I knew it, my teammates had returned to the yard, so I quickly began doing crunches and softly counting aloud numbers in the hundreds to make it seem like I had been doing them the whole time. This experience made me a little nervous. The will I be good enough questions were definitely at the forefront of my mind. These worries proved fleeting, however, when I jumped into Blodgett Pool for the very first time. I remember this experience so distinctly, almost so well that I can close my eyes and live it all over again. I was so hot from working all day in the heat wave, and I ached from the running I hadn't been used to doing. Embarrassingly, I also ached from the toilet scrubbing I definitely wasn't used to doing. All in all, my body felt miserable. But when I jumped in the pool, my body felt home. I swam a few laps, and then I turned over to float on my back and I just looked around. I thought, wow, I'm at Harvard. And I smiled goofily to myself. Now I know most Harvard students have that, wow, I'm at Harvard moment at some point at their experience, but I especially cherish mine because it happened in a place that would come to hold all of my best memories and the most defining moments of my life. Blodgett truly did become my home over the next 4 years, and HWSD became my family. College swimming was the best thing that ever happened to me. It redefined the sport I thought I had known so well. Believe it or not, I was a pretty angry high school swimmer. And when I say angry, I guess I mean frustrated. I would get so bothered by the kids who sat on the wall on my club team, and I was confrontational with people not taking the workout seriously. I yelled at people. But something magical happened when I came to college. I became a consistently happy swimmer. I never doubted my teammates and their work ethic. I knew everyone was there because they wanted to be there and they wanted to be great. More importantly, they wanted to make those around them great. And that is one of the most beautiful things about college swimming. There are so many people I attribute to giving me this experience, from the class of 2012 to the class of 2018. I wouldn't be here without all of my teammates. HWSD over the years has given me more than I could ever imagine. I was fortunate enough to be a 4-year member of the breaststroke lane. And despite changing drastically in numbers over the years, 10 to about 3 at points, the breaststrokers have always been a particularly incredible support system for me. We might have been small this year, but we sure were mighty. I would like to thank Coach Steph for giving an undertrained Y kid a shot 4 years ago. I know you hate when I call you Big Steph. You're not big. But as Little Steph, I have definitely looked up to you over the years. Amanda, thank you for being a constant source of motivation and support from the moment you stepped on deck. Your passion is truly awe-inspiring. And James, thank you for being the goofiest volunteer coach ever. I know it will take a while to get your ladies voice out of my head. Lastly, I would like to thank my parents and my sister for all that they've given to me. Thank you for signing me up for swim lessons at the Y. I do wish you had told me how dorky it was to walk across the street and into those lessons with my cap and goggles on in the dead of winter, but I am grateful to you nonetheless. Paige, my sister's not here, but I would like to thank her for coming to so many of my meets and cheering until she lost her voice. Mom, thank you for always believing in my abilities and for being such an amazing role model. And Dad, thank you for coming to quite literally all of my meets. I know few parents who would drive from New Jersey to Georgia overnight just to surprise their daughter with a giant Harvard flag in stands. My last race at Ivy's was the final memory I made in Blodgett Pool, and it served as the perfect bookend to an experience that started in exactly that place. My body ached the all too familiar last lap ache, which I know I'm going to miss. And upon touching the wall, I looked over at my team on deck and in the sport at the stands. I smiled through tears and thought to myself, wow, I swam for Harvard.